In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply two expressions that involve exponent rules. So I have my first factor here, and then I'm multiplying it by another factor. And before we do the multiplication, we need to complete this exponent here. Using order of operations, we have to do exponents first before we multiply. So I'm going to raise everything that's inside the parentheses to the fourth power. So I have 5 to the fourth, and that's going to be, when I take x to the sixth to the fourth, that's going to give me x to the 24th, because I have to use the power rule. When I raise a power to another power, I have to multiply those exponents. Okay, now I have to raise 3 to the fourth power, and I have to raise y to the fourth power, again using the power rule because I'm raising a power to a power, so I have to multiply. So I have 4 times 4, which is 16. So that gives me y to the 16th. And that's going to be multiplied by the second factor, which is 3 squared, y to the 7th, all over 5 to the 3rd, x to the negative 7. Okay, so now when I multiply, I want to add my exponents if my bases are the same. So when I go across the top and I multiply everything, I have 5 to the 4th, x to the 24th, 3 squared, and y to the 7th. None of those bases are the same, so I can't combine them and add the exponents. When I multiply across the bottom, I have 3 to the 4th, y to the 16th, times 5 to the 3rd, times x to the negative 7. And again, I don't have bases that are the same in the denominator, so I can't combine the bases and add the exponents. So what I'm going to do from here now is I'm going to take this negative 7 exponent. Whenever you have an exponent that is negative, you can reciprocate it. So I'm going to make that negative 7 in the exponent positive by bringing it upstairs. I don't have any other negative exponents, so all the other factors in the numerator and the denominator are going to stay put. The only one that's going to get flipped is this one here, because that has a negative exponent. So when I continue down here, everything else stays the same. So I have 5 to the 4th, x to the 24th, 3 squared, y to the 7th, and that x to the negative 7 is going to come upstairs as x to the positive 7. Downstairs, everything else stays the same, except I don't have that x to the negative 7 down there anymore. I have 3 to the 4th, y to the 16th, 5 to the 3rd, and then that x to the negative 7 is gone. Now I'm going to start cleaning this up a little bit. On the top, I have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, because I have 5 to the 4th. On the bottom, I have 5 to the 3rd, which means I have 5 times 5 times 5. So I have one extra 5 on top than I do on the bottom. So if I cross off 3 5s on the bottom and 3 5s on the top, I'm going to be left with 1 5 upstairs. Now, I also have an x to the 24th and an x to the 7th upstairs. And when I multiply those, I use the product rule that says that I can add them together. So, if I take x to the 24 and I add the 7, that's going to give me x to the 31. Now, I've taken care of x to the 7 and x to the 24. I have taken care of these, the 5s. Let's take care of the 3s now. I have 2 3s upstairs, and I have 4 downstairs. So I have 3 times 3 upstairs, and I have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 downstairs, which means if I cross off 2 3s upstairs and 2 3s downstairs, I'm left with 2 3s downstairs. So I have a 3 times 3 downstairs, which gives me a 9. Now, last thing that we're going to do are the y's. I have 7 y's upstairs. I have 16 y's downstairs. So I'm going to cross off 7 on the top and the bottom. If I cross off 7 upstairs and 7 downstairs, what I'm going to be left with is y to the 9th downstairs. So this is my final answer, and I know it's my final answer because I have all my x's combined together. I don't have any extra x's anywhere else. I have all my y's together, and I have my fraction reduced to 5/9.